Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Debbie Heinemann and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator from Queensland, Australia. I love sharing my handmade scrapbooking albums and paper projects with you. Today I'm going to show you how I created this album for a friend of mine. It is 8 inches wide and 6 inches high. I'll show you this finished album first and then we'll go through the cutting measurements so you're able to make a base album yourself. So this one here was one that I made for my friend, and it's a lay flat album. So on the side here is the spine, and I've put a brad in here and some little bits on memorabilia on the chain. When I open this album up, here is some handmade paper that I created using embossing folders and dies and inks, and it's just wonderful. This one opens up to the left. It's a double page there, and then it flips open to open this out to the left. It's got a pocket here and where you can put some memorabilia or some information or more photos. Over here on the left is a waterfall, and it's got 7 different 3x3 flips that flip up and down, and then it's magnetized to keep that shut. This one here flips up, takes a photo, and then underneath this one flips out, and then this also flips out, and again journaling or photos, and then this whole page lifts up, and then that's the 2 pages where you can put something larger. Over here on the right, this is a magnetized belly band, and inside this is an accordion fold with 3 fold outs on each side. In the center, this one flips up and this one flips down. Again, up to you what you want to put in there. And then on the right hand side, this also is the 3, and they come back into the center, and then this belly band with magnets in holds that shut. I then open this one up here, and there's 1 flip up and then 1 pocket, and then this is just a card that I'd made to go in there. Over here on the right is 2 triangles that I've layered up. This is a little keepsake that I've made to put another photo in, more photos in here, or journaling, and that goes into the back part of that triangle. And then this here is then another card that I've made to be sent around to be signed by the guests at the party. This one then opens up, and we've got another pocket here, and then this is just a little another one that I've made here to hold photos as well. That just shows there, and then in here then is more photos. That there is just a quick little walkthrough of what the finished album looks like. This here then is what the finished album, what I'm going to show you today how to create. And again, like I said, this is an 8x6 album, and this is the signatures that are in here. There's 3, so it gives you 6 surfaces front and back. So let's get to it, and let me show you how I created this album. So to start with, I cut my my card down. Now this here is the thickness of what comes with our designer series paper, so I'm upcycling that. So the actual front and back page to the album is 6 1/4 across here, and it's 8 1/4 this way. And I've cut my paper to be 2 inches bigger to the width and 2 inches bigger to the height. I've bought a pencil in then, and I've just, when I've centered that, I've just done a little corner to know where it is sitting exactly on there. And then once I've done that, I then bring my glue in and I glue the back of my cardboard here. And so I just quickly run that around, put that on. I centre that up with those little registration marks, we might be able to call them. And then I'm going to use my bone folder and I'm going to spread that out so that the glue doesn't sit all underneath in one blob. Once that's done, I've got this little gadget here that gives me the corners that I can then cut. It saves me thinking, how do I need to do it and what angle, because we need a tiny little bit between the corner and where we cut it off so that we don't have a gap when we fold it in. So I just do this around all four sides, and then once I've done that, I'm then going to cut. And so just coming up here a little bit to make sure you can see this, I'm just going to cut that bit off, cut this bit off, and I've done one here before just showing you what I'd also done, so I'll just cut these bits off as well. I hadn't marked that one in. So then once that's done, I just like to hold up the cardboard and I like to fold it over like that so that I get a nice crease against that. So I'll do that at the top and the bottom. And then once I've done that, I'll just hold it back, do a little score on the inside at that of that short side on the 6 1/4, and then I'm just going to fold this over and score, burnish it down, not score, burnish it down. Then I'm going to bring my glue in here, do this, put some down in the valley there, and then I'm going to hold that over, and again with my tool here, I'm just going to just slide that along so that the glue is evenly distributed. If any comes out, just give it a gentle little wipe. Then I'm going to flip this around and do the other end. So I would recommend that if you're going to make one, watch this video through first, see how I do it, and then have a go at making it yourself. It's wonderful to be able to do your own. Now once you've done that, let me see if I can get down here a little bit closer. Once you've done that, up in the corners here is where we use that little tool to cut the corners. So I'll bring that up a little bit higher. So we're just going to burnish that in. That one's. So we're going to put some extra glue on here, down in the ditch, and then through there. And then I'm going to turn that over so that that comes over here. And again, using my tool, I'm just going to bring that down. Hold that glue down. Flip it around. Add some more glue to this one. I didn't push that in, so push that one in there. Push this one in here, and then flip that over. Lighting seems to be a little bit darker today, not sure why. Alright, that one seems to have popped up a little bit. Alright, that's one done. I'll just set that off to the side while I quickly do this one as well. I've already turned these over, so this won't take too long. I'll do this other end as well while I've got the glue bottle going. Flip these over, hold it down. Tell me in the comments if you like to see an instructional video, or do you like to watch a video, or do you prefer to read instructions and go ahead and make one yourself? I know we all have different ways to learn. Some like to watch and do, and others like to just read and do. I'm a visual learner. I like to watch something and then do it. Alright, so I'm just going to add the glue to the other two sides here. Remember, down in that ditch. Fold this over. Finish that down. Flip this around. Do the same with this one. So that's it for the front and back of the album. We'll now do the spine. Just flip that over here as well. Now the spine, it measures 2 3/4 by the 6 1/4. And again, I've done the registration marks here in where I want it to go. And again, we're going to turn that one up and turn this one up. So I'm going to add glue to the inside of this just to hold it in place. Put this down on those marks. Press that down to move that glue around to be even underneath. And then here you might see where I've got a couple of lines I've just done with my pencil, and then I've done a little squiggly. We only want the glue in this area here. In the ditch, and then back up here, in the ditch, and then back up here. So we're going to turn this over and hold that down, burnish that down as well. Turn it around, lift this up and burnish it down. Now, because this album is a lay flat album, it's important to watch what I do here. I bring my bone folder and I want to bring this in here and score it. I'm not sure if you can see that as well, but I want to score in quite tightly to here. And that's going to create this piece here to fan around. So I want that to happen. So I want to score this in here. I want this piece to fan around. Excuse me. So once that's done, I'm going to bring back my pages here, and this one I have also burnished that up on both sides. I now want to add glue on the top of this one here. So I'm going to line that up with there, and this now is going to come across and glue to this section. Now I want to make sure that it's lined up, that it's exactly I usually give it a tap on the table. Once I know that that's level at the top here and level at the bottom, I'll open that up, and then with my bone folder I'm going to burnish that in again. I'll turn this around and then I'll bring in my other side and repeat. I'm just going to burnish that one across, put the glue in here, line this up again, bring this across. Oh, that one's wanted to be a little bit slippery. Once it sort of just starts to catch, again want to make sure that I've got that nice and level. Where I am in central Queensland, it's very hot and humid, and so sometimes it just takes that little bit more glue. So that's it. That's that first part done. When I was saying that it's a lay flat album, it lays beautifully flat like that. So what we're going to do now is, because I want to put a brad into this, so I want to be able to put a dangle or a hanger off here, I'm just going to lay this down, grab my ruler, roughly center that, go somewhere about here, and then I've got my little hole piercer. I'm just using one of these, and then with this here I'm just going to bring this in, line that up, and then click it, and then that's given me a nice little hole there. I've now got my brad. I don't know if you can see that there. So I'm going to poke the brad through that hole. Bring it through this side, and then I'm going to turn that apart. Now some of them I need to be able to bend this over because it shows up too high when I want to be able to cover it later. So I just turn that over there like that, and that there then is the brad that's in the album. The next part now is we're going to bring in the hinge. So I'll just put this off to the side for the moment. Now the hinge that I use is one that I've seen on a video that I really like, and so the measurements for this is that they're 1/2 inch apart, and then I have 3/4 of an inch there, and it's done in this will be a valley, this will be a mountain, and then this one will be a valley. It's very hard to see with this black light. The light's not black, the cardstock, you might be able to see the scores there. So this one here, I've come through, and so this was the valley, this was the mountain, that was the valley, and so that creates your first little mountain, and then we've got the 3/4 of an inch gap in between, and then we've got our 1/2 inch and our 1/2 inch there, and then the same. So what we're going to do here is add glue in underneath. So that was the top where the 3 mountains are. So in underneath here is where we're going to add glue. And I want to do that in the 3 lots here. So I'll put the glue in there so that it can start to get a little bit tacky for when the time I get there. And then I'm going to fold this over so that can start to take. Fold this one back so it can start to take, and fold that one over as well. So I'll then use my bone folder to just rub across these hinges whilst we wait for the glue to start to take hold. I'm going to flip this over now, and then I'm going to start to burnish this with that glue to make sure that it takes hold and that it is really important that you work these hinges backwards and forth from the right to the left, because this is going to hold the signature pages. That is what the whole album is all about. So I like to spend the time here making sure that I've worked these, the front and the back. I've laid them to the right, I've laid them to the left, because they're going to do all of the work of holding the signatures backwards and forth. So now once I've got that done, I'm going to bring this back in, and I'm going to put my hinge in here now. Now what I like to do to start with is you want to center this. The 3 hinges need to center into the either side of where the spine is. So I like to put my glue first of all onto the section that holds or houses the 3 hinges to start with, and I'm going to go on one side. Then I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to center this like I just said. Center it to the right through the center. Make sure that top and bottom is lined up. And then once I've got that, I'm going to just burnish a little in the center of the number 2 and 3 hinge. Make sure that that's stuck down, and then over here on the left, I'm going to run my bone folder down through where this is going to crease. Can you see where that is? So where this is going to fold over, I'm doing that. And then once I've got that crease in, I then want this side to stick down. I'm just going to use my bone folder, make sure that that's back. Sometimes if the cardstock's a little bit thirsty, it'll take extra glue. This is the case today, it's a little bit thirsty, so I'll just put some more in there. So then I'll just bring the glue back over to this other side here now. I'll just add some inside, and then I'm going to add more here. If, like I said, it's a bit thirsty today, I'm just going to add some extra over here to help it. And the same, I'm just going to get that to start to come in, and then I've got another fold here where the back album comes up. Do that, and then once that's in, I'm going to bring this down. I do hold classes in Gracemere, Queensland, so if anyone is in the vicinity or would like to attend one of my workshops, I would love to have you here. All right, so that's the hinges in now. Also, we're going to cover where our cardboard is still showing. So I've got the inside covers here. So these inside covers, they measure 8 1/8 by 8 1/8 by 6 1/8, and then I'm going to add put the glue on here so that I use a watercolor pencil to write on my cardstock, so it's easy for me to remove in the future. I just use an eraser to take it off. So now I'm just going to bring this into here. We're wanting to cover the cardboard that's still showing, and then this is just going to go in here. Grab our bone folder again, and we're going to smooth that through. Gives us a nice neat inside. I'm going to do the same with the other side. Apply the glue. I prefer not to use double-sided tape because I do not know what the longevity is of tape, whereas I know the longevity of glue is a long time, so I don't want my album in 5 or 10 years to let go because of the double-sided tape. So that's covered there now. It's looking beautiful. Front and back covered. Now we're going to add our signatures. Now I like to do my signatures where they are like this. So it's 2 pieces and I glue 2 pieces together. Now, where it differs from a lot of what other album makers do, I find this suits me much better. So my signature measures 8 inches by 6.5, and I've scored on the short side at 6. And then once I've scored that, I then want to fold the score line in, and then I burnish that down, and I've got two pieces exactly the same. So again, I'll score that and burnish that, and then once I've got that, I then will have the two scores, one to the right, one to the left, and I will turn one upside down so that it will look like this. You'll have a score to the left which is poking up, and the score to the right that is folded under. So when I've got it like that, I'll move this album out of the way. When I've got it like that, I'm going to open this. So again, both are laying flat, and both have the score to the left of each piece. Once I've got that, I'm going to add glue to my right hand side piece. Remember, these pieces are both exactly the same. Once I've got that there, I'm going to line that up so they're the same, top and bottom. Then I'm going to fold this over, and I'm going to hold these together. I'm just going to wait for that glue to take hold. And then once it starts to take hold, I'm going to open this and then just burnish this down. And then once that's done, I'm then going to turn it around, and I'm going to add glue to this other side. And then the same thing, I'm going to bring this up to here and align it so it all meets, and then use the bone folder to bring that down, make sure it doesn't shift. Turn it over, and then I look at, is my whole signature laying flat now? So I like to run my bone folder over the whole lot so that it's all good like that. No movement there. Oh yeah, because of our humidity today, it's really, even though I put lots of glue on there, it's still just showing a little bit. Alright, so that's one signature, so then you should have a hole all the way through. So you're going to have a hole on the right hand end, hole on the left hand end. The scored marks were at the top. So I've just got one more to do here. I've already completed one, so I had that done in advance. Tell me in the comments if you've made your signatures like this, or is there another method that you prefer? Alright, so once I've got those signatures made, I bring back in my album, and we're going to insert the signatures now. So I always work from, just check where your brad is, because we know this is the top. So I always work from the back hinge, and I want to add glue to the top 2/3 on both sides. Oh, one little thing I forgot to mention. We're going to trim just these corners off, like a little slither. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Just going to come in here and cut the tiniest little bit off top and bottom. It's almost like a little triangular piece. If I show you, that's what it is. Very, very small. So then once I've done that, I then get my signature, and I'm going to open it. Remember, we've got the 8" along the top. This is the 6". So I'm going to open it where that gap is, and I'm going to put it over that signature. See how I've just fed that over top of there. And then once I've got that in there, I want to look along the top, and I'm going to look along the bottom. Am I lined up? Am I straight? This is really, really important, because this part is what's going to open, and we want to make sure that everything's straight. So I'm going to make sure that my glue is taking down here. I'm going to turn this over and make sure that it's also holding on this side. And then when that's done, I'm going to add the next one. So again, I'm going to come in with my glue here, glue here. Remember, just the top 2/3. I'm going to add this onto the top of the hinge, push it down, make sure it lines up top and bottom with this other one, and that it's sitting over the hinge. I just hold that for a little bit. Till that glue starts to take. Still looking that top and bottom is lined up. It is. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to make sure that this one is staying stuck down. Right, that's looking good. Now moving on to our last one, glue on here. Signature. Remember, we've got our gap. We're going to put that over that one there, push it down, pull it to the right, make sure it's lined up exactly, and make sure that they're all the same height there, all in line. You don't want their pages to be crooked. Hold that glue down. Normally it doesn't ooze this much, but because it's been such a horrible day here in central Queensland, we've had so much rain and it's so humid, the paper's just sucking up everything at the moment. So when I was saying that with the watercolour pencil that I use to write on them, it rubs out very easily if you've had to write on them or anything. Also, if you've had any little glue bits that have come over, you can take them off with a rubber as well. All right, so that's it. That is the lay flat. See how that one will lay down? I can hold this back here. It will lay down. I know all of my pages are straight. They're in a line. Open it up. First signature. Turn it over. So I call this front 1, front 2. Oh, sorry, let me try that again. Front 1, back 1, front 2, back 2, front 3, back 3. So there at the moment we've got 6 full pages plus our inside cover plus our back cover. So at the moment we've got 8 flat surfaces to be able to build our book. What now? So I'd like to say thank you so very, very much for coming on and watching this video. I hope this helps you create your own 8x6 scrapbooking album in the future. I will have a future video to show how I build the add-ons for this, so how I add my pockets and my flip outs and that. I didn't want to keep this video going too much longer. So thank you so very much for watching me. But before I finish, can I ask you if you would follow along with my crafting journal of these mini albums. My page on Facebook is called Queensland Stampers, so that's Qld Stampers. That's where I post up some additional albums or cards that I do. And also, because we're here on YouTube, if you would like, comment and subscribe to my channel, this greatly helps me. So that's our 8x6 album. Thank you once again for watching myself and for viewing my channel. Thank you.